You people. That's what Seth Rollins calls them. You people.
You morons.
You people paid to see us. You'll wait 5 minutes, God damn it.
Yeah, you paid to see me. You didn't pay it. You should pay.
No,
PayPal is Geno Morosco at gmail.com.
I'm just over here starting race wars.
I'll tell you what. What'd you do, Sean? First of all, what's up, Sean?
Not much, man. How are you?
I'm very well. Tell us what you did to get in trouble with.
We flipped a coin last night during Raw. It was like, who wants to write about Izzy and who wants?
We didn't flip a coin. We had a fucking marital argument.
It
was like an old married couple trying to decide what's for dinner. Like, well, I can take this post, or you can. So there's 2 posts to do. You want this one, and then I'll do this one, or we could do. I don't care, whatever. All right. Well, maybe you take this one, and I'll take this one. Well, I think I'd rather have the other one. So I'll maybe do that one, and then you do that one. All right, I can do that, unless you don't want that. Fucking Sean, I'm gonna kill you. Anyway, you got to do.
So I'm already in a bad mood when I start writing about Izzy because Gino's mad at me.
Mm-hmm. And I did the Lesnar post, and you did a post about Izzy celebrating the WWE main roster Raw debut of Bayley.
And so I was looking for a way to not have it just be here's a fucking vine of Izzy celebrating because that's we've all had that before. So I had the idea. I'd seen the Scott Dawson tweet where he's like, I hope that people will celebrate. I hope my daughter will look up to Bayley the way that I looked up to Bret Hart. So I thought that was a nice little tie-in. And then I was tired and cranky, and I sort of went off on a whole rant. And my only regret is that I think it sounds like I'm mad at the people who are booing Izzy, and I'm really more mad about the people who are attacking Izzy on Twitter, which if you go look at the comments under Cody Starbuck, her dad's tweet about the celebrating, there are people like, I'd like to punch that little bitch in the head, and just ridiculous fucking shit to say to a 10-year-old girl. So that's the mindset I'm in. And all I did was make a comment about how if Bayley's not your thing, or if you roll your eyes at Izzy, which we discussed this yesterday on the show, I am certainly prone to rolling my eyes when WWE tries to sell us shit, and Izzy is part of their selling us of the Bayley experience. So I get that. If you don't like the way that that's been turned into commodified, I understand that. But my only thing, I said, while you're upset at that, consider the fact that Bayley means so much to some people, especially young females, because there are not a lot of examples of non-white male heroes in wrestling or pop culture. There's that. Bayley hopefully will be the first female Hulk Hogan, John Cena character that was never sort of sexualized, never was in like a catty little like I backstabbed you feud, just a babyface hero.
To interject real quick, is in and of itself a point to what you're saying. Right. Is that you can't bring her up without someone saying, "Oh, female John Cena, right. White male."
Yep.
Keep going.
Yeah, the point of reference is a white male because that's mostly what it is. So I'm just empirically saying, and I said it a little bit confrontationally. I can't remember.
For sure, you did. Yeah.
But I was like, if you don't get this, it's probably because you're a white male who's had people, heroes to choose from your entire life, and that's directed at me too. I mean, I never had to search for my favorite comic book hero to identify with or my favorite wrestler. I had a fucking buffet of choices because they're all white guys, and that's my only point was I wasn't trying to start a fucking race war or whatever the shit I've been accused of in that comment section, which I haven't gone in since last night. I decided I was walking away from it at like 1 a.m. or on Twitter since I'm not whatever. I mean, if you're so fucking fragile that the very mention of a fact in granted a confrontational way, but it's still it's true. Most pop culture heroes are white guys. I'm sorry to break the news to you. If that threatens you that somebody pointed that out, go with God. I can't help you. So.
Or don't.
Whatever. I mean, I'm not looking to get into fights with anybody. It's just true. I'm not sorry that I said it. So.
Why do you got to bring race into it? Because it matters.
Because it's true.
Yeah, it's the case.
Pretending that that's not the case doesn't help anybody. And if you think that, like I said, and that's where it comes from. I mean, if you think that doesn't matter, go talk to a 10-year-old girl of any race. Go talk to a 10-year-old black kid. Go talk to a 10-year-old Latino kid. Go talk to a 13-year-old gay kid. My brother's gay, and he spent his entire teenage years. He's as big a nerd as I am, and he spent his whole upbringing, looking for some sort of gay, and anytime it would sort of show up or a comic book would hint that a character might be gay, he was like, that's my new favorite. Because they're not there. You don't have that to relate to. That's important to, maybe not to everybody, but to a lot of people. And that's what Bayley represents for a lot of young girls and grown women and grown men too. Just the fact that there's choices, and that's important, and that's all I'm trying to say.
Yes, that you have the option, and not understanding that there need to be options and that's what you're pointing out, that you do. Well, why does it matter? Why do you bring race into it? And if you say that, chances are you have a very narrow worldview created by, and that's the thing that's trying to be explained to you. That kind of narrow worldview is created by the fact that you probably are a white male, and you don't need to worry about it because it's outside your own circle of interest, or it's outside your own. You never have to confront those kind of things because they're never presented to you. They're never right in front of you. It's never that kind of thing. That's a bigger world issue. That's a bigger problem with human beings as a society. I mean, no man is an island, right? You are not. I say narrow worldview because if you think, why do you have to bring race into it? Well, because it matters. You say, well, racism's not a problem. I have family who I've heard say this. Excuse me. I'm a white male, and the people saying it, my family, white male, it's okay. Racism's not even really a thing in 2016. You are fucking out of your mind if you think that's the case. And then, of course, the very next argument is, well, why should I have to care? Why should I have to worry about it? Well, here's the thing. You don't have to. But if you don't, let's just be real about it. It's because you're being a selfish dick.
Because it's not affecting you, right?
It doesn't affect you. Here's the problem. You're not just you. It's how you're choosing to look at it. You have to look at it from a viewpoint of, we're all on the same team. We're not. But if you look at it from that viewpoint, it means you are equally responsible for the result of the game as everyone else who's on your team, right? You watch a football game and the Bills in the Super Bowl, right? Scott Norwood. Everyone blamed him, but everyone on the team was equally responsible for that loss, even though he's the guy who missed the field goal. It's the same basic thing. Just because you're not the guy who missed the field goal doesn't mean you don't share a part in the blame for the fact that your team lost. So just because you're not racist doesn't mean that a fuckload of people playing for your team weren't horribly racist to the point that they did some unimaginable shit that has stuck around for a long time and actually shaped human history. That's your team. I know you didn't choose that, but to ignore that is to the detriment of society as a whole. The idea isn't, well, I didn't do it, so I shouldn't have to be responsible for it. Sure, you can do that, but it makes you a selfish dick. You are not a part of any solution. You are just there, which, again, that's fine. But if you're going to be that way, you are actively a detriment to the people who are trying not to be that way, in which case, don't come on Cage Side and leave shitty comments like that, because you're not helping fucking anything. You want to have that worldview narrow, and you can do that. Do it inside your home, away from people who are actually trying to fucking help go forward, because you're not moving forward. You're just keeping shit exactly where it was, that conditions that led to horrible conditions for people who are not like you. Again, not saying you're that way, but that's the team you're on, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So you can choose to look at it one way, which doesn't help, or another way, which does. I'm not saying you're wrong if you don't want to be helping the thing. You can just sit there neutral. Fine, whatever. But don't push that bullshit on other people who are trying to help. Anyway.
Yeah, I have never understood, and this, we talked about this a ton. My thing is, like, we should talk about this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have never understood this notion, because that's what bothers me about the backlash that I'm getting. Is like, well, you shouldn't have brought this up. Why? Who am I hurting by race? You can disagree with me. I mean, I think you're fucking, like I said, empirically wrong. But you can come, and that's the problem. There is no counter argument, so you're just going to get mad at me for bringing it up.
Yeah.
So
you You can be the backup linebacker who never sees the field, and your response to Scott Norwood missing the field goal in the Super Bowl can be, I know that's an old reference that a lot of people probably don't get, but your response can either be, he missed the field goal, fuck that guy, he blew the game for us. Or it can be, what can I do to improve our situation to where maybe he never is in that position to need to kick the field goal? To where we can win. What can I do to improve this? What can I do to make the collective better? You have to stop looking at it individually and look at it as a collective. Because when you look at it individually, then obviously that means you're only out for yourself and your interest, which is at the root of the fucking problem of what we're talking about. And the thing about that is, you can do that and still be okay. That's the issue. If they did that, they wouldn't be okay because there's no fucking representation anywhere ever. And now here's Bayley, and even that you're trying to take from him because you can't help bringing her up without also bringing up a white male to compare her to. Stop it with that shit. Fuck off. You don't need to do that. She's great on her own. Everything she does is her own thing, and it's great that there's a 10-year-old who looks up to her, who maybe will go out into the world and become something amazing. We've made our jokes about Izzy. I've gotten on here and said the shit about Izzy. Whatever. I get why you'd want to do. I don't understand actual hatred.
Right. Like, I mean, that's yeah. I mean, I get the joke. I'll make the jokes too. I understand why people look at it with a little bit of side eye. That's fine. I don't know her family. I mean, there's people in that thread last night that were like, well, I met them at Full Sail and they're full of themselves. I don't know. Maybe they are. But that's beside the point.
Yeah, you can look at Raw and go, which fave do I want? They look at it and go, oh my God, we have one. Bayley. Yep. I finally have someone to look at, and they hold on to it just as tight as they can. And you then are the person who's staring at the fucking, you know what I mean? Like you're a rich person staring at an aisle full of whatever kind of cereal you can get, and there's a poor person who just scrounged up enough change to come in there and buy the cheapest cereal fucking imaginable, and you're looking at him and laughing. That's the guy you are right there. Yep. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, man? Anyway. Exactly. Let's talk wrestling. We've spent enough time on this.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk wrestling?
I don't know. What happened on this show? I'm tired.
I'm actually really tired too. What did happen on this show? There was a lot that actually happened on the show. Bayley debuted.
Something
to be happy about.
Finn is hurt.
So I saw some complaints that they introduced Bayley via authority figure.
Oh.
Didn't just let her have her thing on her own. It had to be, we signed this person. Look at us. And then it's hug Mick. And then it's sticks around. And then the focus again is on whoever's running the show instead of just letting the wrestler come out and it be about the fucking wrestlers. Do you agree with that?
No, because they've set up, I mean, I dislike the authority figures thing, but I also really like continuity, right? So... Okay. I mean, they've set up this universe. I mean, it's bad enough that we don't know why Raw got the first right to sign this free agent, because Daniel Bryan's going to be on Talking Smack talking about how he wished he'd signed her or something. So, I mean, at least they acknowledge
if they do that.
Well, I mean, that seems, I don't know. Maybe they won't. But
are we then supposed to be mad at Bryan? So if the idea is you have Raw fans and you have SmackDown fans, are the SmackDown fans supposed to be like, what the fuck, Daniel?
Probably, and he'll probably say that they got screwed. I mean, that's because that's sort of the narrative they're pushing, right? Is that the playing field is tilted to Raw. I don't know.
So you went and signed.
So
Nikki.
they're gonna. So my guess would be that Daniel Bryan will say something like they never got a chance to even meet with Bayley or something.
Well, it's like so you went and signed a part-time star with a bum neck, and they went and signed the hottest free agent in the world. And I like to imagine Heath Slater was in the back with his head in his hands, just sighing heavily, and no one would listen to it. Like people would walk by
because he's walked away from a contract twice now. Heath just a dummy. I love Heath, but part of why he's adorable is he's a fucking sitcom character. It's like Three's Company. He does. Oh, they're trying to give him a contract, but he overheard something else, so he's not going to sign.
I won't even know, Heath. Seriously, we have something really important to say. It doesn't actually matter what you have to say. I'm fucking out of here. Yeah, and then goes to Raw and dies against Brock Lesnar, which there's some stories, man. We'll talk about some stories, but Brock Lesnar and your boy.
Mm-hmm.
Holla at your boy.
It's work.
You little shit stain.
I timed that well. I'm good. God damn.
Do you really think that?
Kind of, yeah.
So we've decided,
by the way. Again, like the whole thing, it's sort of like my feeling on the end of SummerSlam. I don't think that the entire thing is a work, but I think they're spinning it for maximum effect for what they want anyway.
Word is the idea, everything was executed as it was supposed to be, other than the blood.
Well, I read this morning that it's even the blood was supposed to be there, but the extent of the blood was not supposed to be there.
Okay. Well,
I read that. I can't even remember where I read that on some dirt screen site.
Less reputable site had reported that
exactly.
The
intention was for Brock to cut him, but not cut him like that. Which
that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Then because
the whole story is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Here's what I need you to do with those clubbing elbows: cut him, but not too bad. Got it. I know just what to do. I know exactly how to handle this.
To hear you tell it, Brock is a magical human being, so maybe he has those powers to.
I don't know. Well, Brock is a madman. So what happened apparently was they run the whole match and the angle. It's a work, right? Clearly, he does the thing. Well, Jericho, a worker, what the fuck? Lesnar going into business for himself? What's going on? Is Randy Orton okay? Who okayed this spin? Like, what's going on here? Like, maybe thought it was a shoot. And he's fucking huffing and puffing. And Lesnar gets to the back. He's in the gorilla position. Apparently, this is from reports, various places, Wrestling Observer, Pro Wrestling Sheet. Lesnar gets to the back, comes through, and hears the complaining. Thinks it's about him in particular. And apparently, Jericho was just more concerned about Orton and wondering what was going on, not necessarily calling out Lesnar. But Lesnar thinks so, and he goes, mind your own fucking business, Chris. Bet I do, Chris. And Jericho's like, well, fuck you. So they get to going whatever, saying some things. And apparently Brock said some real bad things that if they got out, it'd be real bad. But they got in each other's face, and apparently Brock Lesnar kissed Chris Jericho on the forehead, very softly, and then told him when Jericho didn't return the favor, kiss me back, pussy. Now, we've seen Brock Lesnar kiss men on WWE programming, multiple men, I believe. We also know him to be a homophobe based on interviews he's conducted. But here he is, in lieu of just taking Jericho down and pummeling him, kissing him on the forehead and demanding he kiss him back. Jericho rushes him, gets in his face a little bit more, which that's a funny little thing, right? He kissed him on the forehead, so they were that close, and then Jericho rushed him. So I guess he very emphatically pushed his face
He closed the gap really quickly.
Yeah, he went 90, but Lesnar didn't go the 10.
Right.
To get that other kiss in. And Lesnar, what was his next thing he said? He said,
kiss me or hit me or whatever.
Put his hands behind his back.
Yeah.
And leaned in a little bit more, apparently, and said, kiss me or hit me, bitch. I'm not entirely sure Brock didn't just want Jericho to have sex with him right there at Gorilla and wanted to fight if he wasn't going to have sex with him.
Well, a lot of times, the most vocal homophobes are the guys that are, were really kind of curious. So maybe Brock thought this was his opportunity. Like either way, he wins. He could kill Jericho, or he could finally know the loving embrace of another man.
He might punch me in the face, which is okay, or he might jump on my dick, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. Either way, I think I come out ahead in this.
Yep.
Interesting. We come out ahead because the story's huge and we're getting a lot of hits off of it, and also we come out ahead because kiss me or hit me that's a good line. You're shaking your head. But
like I said,
a grown man who looks like Brock Lesnar kissing another grown man and then stopping to say, kiss me back, pussy. It's just the best thing in the fucking world to me, I think, actually. I'm just imagining it. When I say it out loud, I'm imagining these two. And Jericho is not a very big guy, and Brock is huge. You can imagine those two, that's probably where his lips were, just standing across from Jericho. So he just he wanted to plant a kiss on the guy. So he did. and got upset when Jericho didn't return the. How good is that? Like, I'm mad at you, but kiss me back, pussy. Like, this sounds like us in the bedroom.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Maybe that's why it's a good story. I don't know. So do you feel like the response that I see to this is people think Jericho's a fucking badass?
Well, I think Jericho's a crazy man. I mean, that's sort of here's the thing that you got to remember about Chris Irvine, right? Is his dad was an NHL player from the era when they didn't wear helmets. So there's some like crazy. I mean, there's like those guys don't give a shit. They will skate up to anybody. I mean, they don't care. And I think Jericho's got that in him. He's the one who, in some form or fashion, stood up to Goldberg in the WCW locker room. You know, he's been in locker rooms in Mexico where you could die just as soon as you could like get a soda. So he doesn't care. And, you know, and he knows there's a lot of dudes around. And I don't know, another version at a less reputable site that I read had said that, like, he asked, I think it was Michael Hayes, that Jericho, before he confronted Lesnar, because apparently Brock Lesnar's finishes are like top secret.
Protected.
Vince knows it, and like Triple H doesn't know how that match is going to end.
Yeah.
So Jericho, before he freaked out, he went up to Hayes and said, I think it was Michael Hayes, and said, "Is this a work?" And Hayes didn't answer him, maybe because he didn't know. Well, but because he didn't get an answer, Jericho assumed that it wasn't and went to check on Orton at Gorilla.
Yeah. This is bullshit. Why would you do this? This isn't okay. Essentially, whatever. And that's I think that's a valid.
And I think Jericho is taking. I mean, Taker's not back there anymore. He is probably the longest tenured guy back there. It's him and Cena, really. So if somebody's going to step up and say, hey, part-timer, you can't do this, which if you ever watch Table for Three, that's like a big locker room mentality, right? The one with Piper and the guys from WrestleMania 1 is all about how they had to keep Mr. T in check because part-timers can't come in and look good on full-timers. So I think Jericho's taken this and he took it too far, in my opinion, even as the world's largest Jerichoholic. He probably took it too far in thinking that this was his role to stand up for the regulars. Well, and it backfired. I mean, it kind of backfired on him because apparently not because he almost lost his, you know, presumably male-on-male virginity to Brock Lesnar, but because Vince got in his face and was like, "Back the fuck off! You're wrong. It's a work, you moron." Well, that's not good. That's not a good. You don't want to be getting yelled at by Vince in this situation, I don't think.
Well, and they're doing they're damn near coming to blows, and I guess Triple H is running in and going whatever. But Triple H said, "Well, no, it's Brock's problem because Jericho's just checking on Orton and kind of generally wanting to know what's the deal here, and not saying Lesnar's wrong for this, but more like this was a dumb decision." The dude's clear. There's a puddle of his own blood. We were uncomfortable. We were like, Jesus, is dude okay? Is he concussed? And apparently he's not, from the word that is going around. Don't know if he's going to appear on SmackDown tonight. We'll find out when that goes live. But Triple H came in and was like, this is on Brock. Brock started acting like a dick. Brock's the one started running his mouth, thinking Jericho was talking shit without knowing the full story. Well, then they're separated, and then apparently they went at it another time, and that's when Vince got in and was like, Chris, you're acting unprofessional, and Jericho's still shouting about how it's bullshit, whatever, and it's, not knowing if it's a shoot. And that's finally when Vince was like, dude, it's a work. Back off. Like, so essentially confirming that they planned to do all that, and maybe they were trying to protect that, even from, as they're called, the boys. Yep. Not that they were trying to work the boys, as they would say, but more like, you don't need to know. And then finally, he's like, dude, it was a work. Planned it all. He didn't go in there and throw a fucking elbow and actually try to kill Randy Orton, like we joked about. Like, we knew we were going to do all of this. It was the plan. You're being unprofessional. Get the fuck out of here.
Yep. But
there's also reports that there's no heat on Jericho now for what he did, and Lesnar went home anyway.
Apparently, I mean, the other things that I've read is that everybody but Vince is on Jericho's side. So in some respects, maybe he overstepped his bounds because the boss is pissed at him. But if he's supposed to be this locker room leader, he looks like that now.
True, and he looks, he looks even better because he didn't back down when he was sexually assaulted by a bear. So
he went full Revenant on that motherfucker.
Yeah, he survived a bear turning him over and having his way with him, And so I mean, yeah.
But to my previous half joking it's work comment, I mean, I do think that, once this stuff gets out there, I think Vince is a savvy enough operator, and everybody involved is, that they're like, okay, now how do we spin what everybody thinks they know to what we want? So maybe they embellish some things, I think, because I do think, like I said yesterday, I think one of the goals of this whole angle is they want Lesnar to be a fucking true heel again. They don't want this ironic pop because people like to see him throw car doors. They want him to be a badass that somebody's got to take down. Some people are saying that's going to be Shane, which is just ridiculous on several million levels. But
that would be a horrible decision.
Or maybe Shane's just the next sacrificial lamb before somebody finally does stop him. I mean, that's another possibility. The rumor isn't that Shane's going to go over Lesnar. It's just that he's going to work with him. So maybe Brock kills the beloved Shane, because right now Shane is a pretty huge babyface. So if your goal is to make Brock the biggest, baddest monster possible for somebody to go over and become the greatest hero ever, maybe Shane's the next person he kills.
And again, fuck the brand split, because the commissioner of SmackDown against a Raw superstar.
Well, at least they set but I'm okay with that too, because at least they set that up with this whole angle, right? I mean, this was sort of Raw SmackDown bragging rights, and on screen, Shane's doing what Jericho apparently did behind the backstage. He just went out to check on his guy. You heard he got caught on microphone. Hey, Brock, I'm just here to check on my guy.
That's true, actually. Yeah, it's basically the exact same thing. Everyone wanted to check on Orton. And Brock was like, anyone who wants to check on him, I'll eat your soul too.
Right. You're not allowed to check on him. Why? Because
yeah, or you can check on him, but you have to kiss me.
Right. You kiss me or take an F5.
That's right. Kiss me or die. Is essentially what a great story.
Yeah, that's like I said. I mean, I kind of love this, because this is one of my favorite things to do, is play work or shoot.
This is the cool wrestling stuff. Yeah, this is the cool wrestling stuff.
This is unique. This is the stuff that makes wrestling unique and special, because there's really nothing else. I mean, yes, we talked about yesterday. Yes, there's the NFL and the NBA people who think that the fucking finals were worked and they made it so LeBron had his moment or whatever. But that's just not true. Like you said, there's no.
Too much would need to fall exactly.
Like there'd be a fucking mass grave of people that had to be killed to keep the fixing of the NBA finals a secret. So,
which is funny, because they did have a ref who fixed games and it didn't get out for like 12 years.
Right. But that was just for himself. I mean, that wasn't to serve some grand NBA narrative of like, we want LeBron to stand tall at the end. That was because that dude was a fucking gambling addict who needed to make money.
Yeah. See, what's the most basic explanation is probably the right one, right? It's not a conspiracy at the highest levels.
No, it's because this guy's a fucking addict and he needed money.
Yeah, it wasn't like maybe. And that's what's so cool about wrestling, is like people will go with that too. Is it's like, so you don't know if the Orton Lesnar thing is a work, but you're like, I think maybe it was a work, and maybe also it was a work that Shane came out and did what he did. But then it was also a work that Jericho came rushing to Gorilla to complain about it, and then it was also a work that Lesnar was like, "Kiss me, pussy," like kiss me back. Oh. Wrestling is the stupidest shit in the world, and it's so fun.
And maybe they want maybe they were really worried about the press that said Lesnar went rogue, and they wanted to make sure that somehow they got the story out that it was a work that still made Lesnar look like he might go rogue at any moment. So wouldn't you leak this story? Oh, here's Vince on record saying it's a work, but also Brock might kill anyone at any moment still. I mean, that getting that story out there accomplishes that.
And today he was suspended by the Nevada State Athletic Commission.
Was he really? I hadn't even seen that yet.
Temporarily.
I've been too busy arguing with people on Twitter about whether I'm trying to start a race war, so I didn't see that.
Has Sean gone rogue? Nobody knows. I mean,
this whole show's a work. Our whole website's a work.
Yeah, the website's a work. They've been feeding us stories for years. We sold out to Triple H a long time ago.
The funny thing is, you guys thought Handstock was on the payroll when it was us all along.
Yeah, it wasn't Handstock. That's why we sent him to the other website, less reputable website D. I mean, that's what's funny, and this is what's great about this too, is so many people are like, "Oh, they're just kidding around." No, I'm not. I'll show you the checks with Triple H's name on it. All right, what do we talk about next? Well, so here's another funny thing about all this.
Okay.
Brock is this big star, right? And you do all this and you want to make it out like he's all this big, huge thing. Raw literally just lost their champion for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the card, you're like, none of these motherfuckers can step up into the place. They just made a guy to step up into that spot. And the one guy they put over huge, who's on that fucking brand, went home.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see you guys. All right. Well, Chris, so you're not going to kiss me? Because I'm going to get in the car and go home. Just want to confirm you're not going to kiss me.
Last
Please
chance.
kiss me. No kiss. You're sure about this non-kiss. All right. You're sure. I'll take you to dinner, too, if you want. All right. And then he got in the car and he went home.
All's buying steaks. Come on.
Yeah. So, so I thought that was pretty fucking... It's great to think that... Well, like we said, they're doing a Fatal 4-Way next week. Guess who's in that motherfucker?
Mm-hmm.
Big ass.
Your dream is finally coming true.
That's happening, dude.
What was your deadline? I think it was like September something. Like if the belt wasn't on him, you were done.
Tell you what.
Swift, go back and check the tapes.
I'll tell you what. I mean, we're getting closer to the ultimate that I know is going to happen. I'll say before the year is out, we're going to get a Big Cass versus Braun Strowman match. And it's going to be the match of the year. I'm going to tell you that right now. I will not count 6 botches in it, and it'll be the match of the year. If there's not 6 botches, I'll call it the match of the year. I'll do a whole fucking big in-depth report on it. Yeah. How Big Cass versus Braun Strowman came to be.
You'll break down how each of the botches was integral to the match.
Oh, absolutely.
You'll go full Vidance on that thing and break it down move by move why it was.
Fucking lootly, which you know what, the Strowman thing is actually the greatest thing in the history of wrestling because they're actually they're doing real storyline progression in a series of squash matches.
Yeah.
They brought in Johnny Knockout, which is a great name.
In the first LGBT storyline under Stephanie McMahon's new. Everyone, I swear to God, everyone on Twitter made that joke at the exact same time. My entire timeline was just 7 people going, "Oh, look, it's the first Glad storyline." Because Johnny Fairplay, what's his name? Johnny Knockout. Johnny Fairplay. Likes big sweaty men. That's why he was there. He wasn't there for $1,000. He wasn't there to get his name out there in wrestling, which I don't understand his style, the way that what he worked. If he really loves big sweaty men, wouldn't he just run up and just like hug Braun and like try to rub up on him?
He missed out on the when he was still using the bear hug as the finish.
Yeah, I mean this is bad timing for Johnny Fairplay, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Johnny Lovecock was just having a hell of a time. He's like
Johnny Rough Trade.
But it's so great because it's like, why at this point we have seen enough matches that you have to now get increasingly more ridiculous reasons. Why would you ever agree to get into the ring with this man? He's going to kill you. And the dude literally just said total deadpan, just so earnest.
Yep.
I love big sweaty men. and didn't follow it, and then just looked at Saxton like, "Do you have any other questions?" The big sweaty man is getting into the ring. I'm pretty excited about this. Can you leave now? Like, and Saxton's like, oh, "Fuck, God, Lord love you," and just off.
Yep.
I appreciated the fuck out of this. I don't know. I liked it a lot.
Really, you liked a Braun Strowman segment.
I loved. I like the big sweaty man segment.
Oh, okay.
The reality is, I too love big sweaty men, and I beef on beef, baby.
I know it's coming. It's coming for you.
Braun Strowman, or Big Cash, I should say.
Are they like this? They're like the same height, aren't they? I mean, they're both like 6'10" or something ridiculous, right?
There's a lot of beef. I know that. And it's gonna sweat, and we're gonna have.
It's gonna be on, and it's gonna be on other pieces of beef. There will be. What? So I don't know. I know you probably have watched this segment 16 times on your DVR since last night. So you can answer this for me. What did he say? I didn't even know what. You're gonna remember my face or something. What was he yelling about before he hit his finish?
When he comes out, I kind of go into a trance.
You're like Luke Gallows when he was Festus. You just The roar comes on, and you just go into a
my lady friend was here to watch with me for the first time and saw the transformation firsthand. I'll have to see if she can hook you up with a report on it. Yeah, I hear the roar and just my eyes just glaze over and my jaw drops and I'm just in a fucking zone, man. Beef.
Awesome.
Yeah, but I did hear Johnny Lovecock was on.
Oh, Johnny Lovecock.
Sorry, Julie.
Is there any other kind of cock? God damn it! Yeah, I did it. Shit.
Sorry, Julie.
Sorry, babe. Don't listen. Let me text her right now. Mm-hmm. Do not listen.
Don't listen to this week's show like she would anyway.
I'll try again next week.
Don't leave me. Please don't leave me.
I promise I'll keep trying.
I will try again next week. Or I will find a backstage and say, I'll kiss you, Brock.
Don't hate me because I'm weak.
Yeah. Where was Johnny Lovecock when Lesnar needed someone to kiss? What about the So I pissed some people off because I didn't like the Balor goodbye.
Oh, really? You didn't?
How'd you feel about it? Because he comes out and they're like somber. They're like,
yeah,
Finn's gotta go.
What part didn't you like about it?
That they were so somber about it. He's not retiring. He's hurt. Oh. Give the belt up and take your ass to the back and start rehab. He's like, I'm sorry.
I didn't have a problem with it. Because it's bad. It's this is
because I don't know.
I'm gonna try to see how high I get my voice to go. Because it's like when Sammy got hurt on his Raw debut. It's like you finally got to this moment, and you don't know. I mean, this is, I guess this is like sort of smart information, but we know how Vince is like concerned about pushing smaller dudes because they get hurt, and then he fucking takes a risk on this guy and crowns him, and now he's out for 6 months. So when Balor comes back, is he gonna get to challenge for the Universal title like he says, or is he gonna be fucking Neville? We don't know, and so that to me that's sad. So I was okay with that. So that their tone fit my tone.
I just don't like, it made me remind, we did the Brian retirement, and you do, when there's a death, they get on and they do the somber voice and the tragic, everything changes to that. Well, when you do that, you can't then use that as an angle. You can't then use that like to better, I don't know, promote your fucking show. That's shitty and bad. Like you do that only because, hey, look, something happened. Jerry Lawler has a heart attack live on the air. They cut to Cole. He goes, look, some bad shit happened, and I'm real sorry about this. And we're gonna take care of it. We'll try to update you, let you know if he's okay. Real sorry. We're gonna not do commentary out of respect. We'll give you an update as soon as we can. You can't then the very fucking next week or even just a couple months later, and they did it with the heart attack, but not, you do the somber voice thing where you try to make someone believe that it's, something similar to that. Like, don't take the real thing and try to insert it into the fake thing to confuse me. On some level, that stuff's fun and cool, but not on that level.
I don't think any of this is the fake thing. I mean, I think
it's not that it's a fake thing, but I think levels.
He's
right?
legitimate. I mean, Balor is, Fergal Devitt is legitimately fucking crushed that this happened. He fucking. Can we talk for a second about the fact that the man fucking popped his shoulder back into the socket so he could finish the match?
I kept getting mad at him because they'd replay the video and you'd see his shoulder out and him. I was mad because he was getting ready to put it back in and grimacing.
They didn't show the rest of it?
And then they cut it off. I'm like, you dicks. I want to see the thrilling conclusion of Finn Balor destroying his own body to achieve his dreams. So then I'm just mad you
tomorrow. Can even see the little.
Yeah, he took that real bad. It's. Stop doing those. Just stop throwing people at things like that, Seth. I do like that it's like part of his gimmick now, which I guess goes against what I was just saying in a way.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think that's what I was going to say to your thing. I think it's not so much – there are certain elements of this that are going to work for different people, but they are being pretty consistent that this is how they're incorporating this stuff. Like I didn't really like the Eva Marie thing from SummerSlam for like personal reasons, but – I understand. I mean, it fits with everything else they're doing. So
to me, it's just you're acting like someone died. You're acting like Daniel Bryan. Bryan's never coming back. Bryan doesn't know what his life looks like. Bryan is
that's not if
horrifically
Daniel
depressed
Bryan
now.
has anything to say about it, but
well, right. But I'm saying so, and that's something he's going through as a person. And you like this.
Well, so is Finn, though. I mean, he's dealing with the fact that
back, though. I mean,
maybe. I mean, Tommy went in for a shoulder surgery that was supposed to keep him out 6 months. He missed like 14 fucking months. The dude's already 35. He's got a ton of miles on his body. You don't know. I mean, that might have been your shot. That's depressing.
That's fine, but I think you have to not. You can't.
I just think it didn't work for you. It's not that it's bad. I think it worked for a lot of people. Obviously, that's why you got shit for it on Twitter, right?
To hell with all those people, I think.
I mean, have it, ladies and germs. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. I mean,
kiss me. Kiss me.
Kiss me or hit me, pussy.
Kiss me or hit me.
He's just a jacked white boy.
Kiss me or hit me. Actually do both. Yeah, this show was bad. Come to think of it.
It was just I would not have been able to grade this show because I was in such a I am just wrestling overloaded.
Yeah, too much wrestling. And then
by the time Titus O'Neil came out last night, I didn't know what my name was. I didn't know, and there was 2.5 hours of show left.
And by the time he was done, I didn't know what the world was.
I thought you fell asleep during that segment.
Horrible promo. There was a point actually in the show that I did fall asleep. My lady friend, I'm like, I crashed and so she's next to me and doing her thing, and I'm laying there and I'm like, yeah, I got my computer like on my lap and it's falling off, man. I'm like, honey, don't you need to be watching this? Like, isn't this your job? And I'm like, you know what? Can you wake me up if something actually worthwhile happens?
If it's not the 800th iteration of the Darren Young Titus O'Neil feud.
And then I started to go back to sleep and like realize that if that's the standard, then I'm never going to be woken up. So I guess I should get up and I guess I should get up and cover this bullshit. But it was also like a little weird too. We're talking about we're starting race wars. At one point, an old white man was beating up a black guy, which made me uncomfortable. But then the reverse happened, and a black guy was beating up an old white man. And these fuckers don't. I don't know how to feel watching this program ever at any point. People might be dying in puddles of their own blood. There's backstage fights where someone's getting sexually assaulted by a bear. I don't know if the Dudley boys are actually leaving and they're crying, and then it looks like they run an angle. Finn Balor apparently died because he's got a fucked up labrum, maybe. I mean, what this?
What's all right, but I don't understand. So does the Demon King also have a fucked up labrum?
No shit. That's a good point that no one brought up. He's not in the paint. You were in the paint for the other one. The Demon King has the shoulder. You're totally fine.
It's like when something happens to the Hulk, or if something happens to Bruce Banner, he turns into the Hulk. He's better because the Hulk is the Hulk.
All this exposed was that you're a fucking liar. You're not demonic. You don't have any special powers. The Demon King is human just like the rest of us. Rollins should come. Put the title on Rollins. Just never take it off him. I'm out here hurting demons and shit. Who can touch me? You know what I mean? Put me in with a demon and I fucking tore his labrum. Who else wants something? Put me in here with Sami Zayn. I didn't even have to touch him and his ankle's broken. What's up?
Seth is the one with supernatural powers, now that you mention it.
Seth is so powerful, he's injuring his own fucking body. Like, this man blew his own knee out. He took out a Demon King. He took out the Crow. Mm-hmm. He took out the face that runs the place.
Literally. Because he broke his face. I'm funny.
Yeah. He took out a guy who skips a lot. And there's one more, I thought. Who am I missing here? Is that all of them?
I think we could probably remember when like Roman's appendix burst when he was supposed to face Seth. I think we can. That's probably Seth. Seth probably did that.
Dean's ribs were taped up for a while there. That was
for like 6 months. His ribs were taped up.
Bray Wyatt sprained his ankle on SmackDown the other day. That was Seth's fault.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, he was watching, and
I'm pretty sure Sasha Banks is somehow Seth's fault.
Zara Schreiber. That was actually Seth's stuff that was up in her photos. What was the other chick's name? What was the other?
No.
Oh man! No. All right, I'll stop. Fine.
No.
I did like the promo that you posted today.
Yeah, that's a good promo, actually. I was watching that, I don't know, I hated him as a promo in Ring of Honor. When he was Tyler Black, I thought even as a heel, he was like a trying too hard heel. He's gotten really good.
You know what I think? I hated him as a promo before he left. Since he came back,
yeah.
I don't know if he spent all that time working on his shit, but he's really good.
Well, I also think they've tweaked the character. He's not...
It's more natural.
He is... Yeah, he's an overconfident heel. He doesn't have to worry about like working the hiding behind Triple H into his... Yeah. And he's not out there with Triple H all the guy. I mean, the promos from his title reign, he was always standing there with Triple H and Stephanie.
I mean, even though we still have too much Stephanie, the authority being gone is a really good thing, I think.
I mean, compared to what I was afraid of when they announced the whole commissioner general manager shit, we are getting a lot less authority figure stuff than I thought we would.
It hasn't been too bad. And actually, Shane and DB are a pretty cool little team.
Yeah, they're kind of cute together. Yeah.
And Brian on Talking Smack is wildly entertaining.
Talking Smack is like the best WWE program right now. And I made fun of that when they announced it, but it's, just let Renee Young talk to Daniel Bryan for half an hour every week, and I'm there.
It's actually really, really good. Like, it's very JBL and Cole show type shit. Put Renee on a show, and it's golden, man.
The only thing Renee can't do is call play-by-play. Other than that, I would like to watch her do anything.
True. Yeah. Her.
And I don't even mean that in a dirty way, but I would also like to watch that stuff too. So, Dean, if you're listening, call me.
Yeah. If there's videotape of what you did to her before SummerSlam.
Yeah.
To get that hair effect. Mm-hmm. That's why that's what he did. He's like, I think it'd be hot if you were on TV with hair like that.
I also would like to see Dean wearing that jacket too. That would
throw the jacket on. Don't even put the bra on. Just go out there like that. She fucking did it, man. She's a ride or die chick. I'll tell you that much.
I'm telling you.
There were other matches that happened.
Once you go crazy, you can't get lazy. Yeah. I should not be talking anymore. Let's see. So people are Roman won.
So Roman.
Roman was in the main event and he won. There's some scuttlebutt that he'll be crowned a Universal Champion next week. So your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are let's make an entrance theme. So that the next time something like this happens, we can just somehow get it played over a loudspeaker, walk out and just shout towards Mick Foley that we want a title shot. And he'll be like, everyone in here deserves a shot at the belt. And then we can get booked into a series of matches that was never... What did that even mean? When the cage side, I was just like, what a series? Is this a tournament? What's occurring right now? And then Cole, I'm certain they were booking this shit as it was happening.
Absolutely. Yes. Cole got on there and was like, and we've just learned about, and then Byron Saxton was like, no, we haven't. Let's talk about something else. And then it was amazing. I guarantee Vince is back there with a paper and pen trying to figure out the fucking matches. Because Neville wasn't out there. Enzo went out. He's not in it. Rusev got put in the tournament. Turns out he doesn't even want to be in the tournament.
Rusev just walked away. Owens is going to do the match, and Neville's music hits, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? What are they even... He was next to catering or something. Like, hey, go out there and do some flips, and we'll figure it out. We'll let
Cesaro's mad. He didn't even get it put in the tournament.
He wasn't even on the fucking show.
But apparently his best of 7 series with Sheamus is for a title shot. We'll share that with you shortly, Cage Siders, but it was in a Fallout video. Yeah. News to us, so...
He's frustrated, which everyone's frustrated. And that's again, SummerSlam featured a lot of people within WWE looking very sad. And because they should be sad, because no one knows what the fuck's going on. And we don't either.
What the fuck was going on before the men's and women's champions from Raw got hurt, but now that they have been, we really don't know what the fuck's going on.
If you're counting on us to figure this shit out, you've come to the wrong place. Our new policy is something is, but also maybe isn't. So,
every post is going to be, we think this is true, but it's probably not.
In the interest of, you want us to be unbiased in reporting.
Right, we're going to give you both sides of everything.
Both sides. In the interest of the fact that everything, all you little hints of work, you little sons of bitches, this is the result of it.
It's your fault. It's blame. If you don't like the new editorial direction, it's your fault. It's a work, people.
Blame that asshole.
Yeah. Every story is going to be, here's why it's a work, or maybe not.
Yep. Sami Zayn definitely isn't hurt unless he is. So, which is, see, this makes us laugh. You're mad, but we're laughing.
Oh shit!
It's funny too because we've gotten some heat, not as much as I expected, but some heat on Twitter where people are like, "Oh, groundbreaking journalism here." You know what? Actually, it is in this space.
Exactly.
So why don't you go ahead and get mad? You go ahead and get pissed.
Do it.
Act like we ain't fucking. And you know what? Our traffic is fucking bonkers. We're setting records with this kind of journalism. So Ryan Satin can go have his exclusive breaking.
We don't even need real journalisms.
Exactly. I'll just post a story that says Brock Lesnar tried to assault Chris Jericho and kiss him on the mouth, or he didn't. We're just asking questions. We're just trying to get stuff figured out.
Was Chris Jericho raped by a bear? Maybe, but probably not.
Yeah, he may have been.
Look for that. That's going up at 4:00.
Yeah,
right.
He may have been unless he wasn't. I mean, we're always right. We've never been wrong with using that particular way of doing things. So don't at me.
We are 100.
I will delete your account.
Rumor. Look back that Kyle Decker.
No shit. Fuck. Tired of that guy. Shout out to Reverend Kane for filling in doing the live blog. I'm
telling you, that dude is going to accidentally find himself with a live blogging job.
I'll tell you what, I'm already thinking of ways to get him to do SmackDown tonight. I'll tell you that.
He thought he was just volunteering for TakeOver, and now he's got a fucking job.
I'll tell you that. Here's my idea: kiss me or hit me, pussy. And if he kisses me, I'm way out ahead, and I'll live
right.
Blog.
You win either way, I think.
He's either gonna kiss me, hit me, or live blog SmackDown. I'm doing pretty fucking good here. I'm thinking. Wow. Brock Lesnar stumbled upon some. No wonder that's a shrewd businessman. He gets shit done.
You think that was his negotiations with Vince? Can I go, Vince? I want to go to UFC.
Kiss me or hit me.
Put his hands behind his back. Kiss me or let me go. I don't know.
Kiss me or hit me, Vince. $5 million a year. There it is. Boom. That's what they did.
You don't care about Roman Reigns at all.
What else happened?
Who do you think wins the Universal Championship next week?
I don't give a shit.
Yes, you do. You want it to be a big cast to set up the shirt.
Yeah, I totally do. Big Cass versus Braun Strowman should absolutely headline Clash of Champions. I don't see any good reason it shouldn't. You tried to crown Balor because you knew Rollins wasn't going to be the guy. You push Reigns down to Rusev. You know he's not the guy. Kevin Owens, he's never been the guy. He's in a tag team with Chris Jericho.
God
you know
damn
what
it.
that tells me?
Big Cass time.
Big Cass.
How you doing?
Jim Rome was right. Won't be Roman Reigns, but it will be Big Cass.
You think Enzo is becoming his manager now?
Why was he there at all? I guess
he didn't even talk. It was my dream come true.
He didn't do the thing, did he?
No.
We just talked about it.
He just got the music and then he came out.
Yeah, well, that's usually what happens. We heard music and then he showed up.
Well, but
craziest thing happened.
I know, it was weird, groundbreaking stuff. They're really trying some new production tricks on Raw.
A guy's music played and he showed up. Weird as shit. He demanded a title on this show. He showed up, demanded a title shot, and got one. This is
unheard of.
Mick Foley he's got new ideas. He's an idea man. That's why they gave him the gig.
Well, I heard
an idea man. He's ahead of the time. Trouble is, he's only about an hour and a half ahead. Shout out to George Carlin for that.
Yeah, I miss that guy. So I really do.
He's so good, dude.
There are several times a day where I'm like, I wonder what Carlin would say about this.
I share a birthday with him. I shared a birthday with him. May 12th was his birthday. Yeah, that's my birthday too. Yeah. Awesome. Marketing, it's where I belong, among other places.
I forget what I was going to say.
This is what I think about when I'm sitting home alone and the power goes out.
Mm-hmm.
You were going to say that Big Cass should be champion.
One of my favorites. I had an uncle. We had an uncle that used to do that. We used to slap the shit out of him. Oh shit! Oh.
That is a great bit. Oh man, there's a show, if you haven't seen it, Complaints and Grievances, where he just bombs everybody, and he's a new interesting way, which is basically what we do, which is like, oh, the people who say it's a work, these people should be dropped out of a helicopter, set on fire, and when they hit the ground, photographed and have the photos disseminated to all their family members. Like, here's another group of miscreants that should be burned to death in front of their newborn babies.
Yep.
Anyone who says, it's totally a work. Oh, man. And
if only there was a way I could throw fire on them.
My uncle used to say, we used to slap the shit out of him.
Oh, so that's our, I don't know. Yeah, so we really don't want to talk about Raw.
So that's the show. What else? No, really, was there anything? I can't even remember.
Well, is there anything else you want to talk about with Bayley's debut? I don't know. I didn't.
Really? I mean,
I thought it was. I'm glad she got a nice pop. I don't think the crowd stayed with her through the match, which kind of scares me. But
get ready for her to lose the next 48 matches in a row. I mean, she's going to go on a real long. That's how you have to book a character like that. I feel.
Yeah, I mean and hopefully they'll actually do it as a storyline and not whatever they're doing with Sami Zayn, who's the same kind of character.
I am full blown conspiracy theory on the Sasha injury.
What's
played out a little too nicely for my taste, man.
What's the conspiracy theory?
I'm going to make it up right now. Bayley loses against Asuka at TakeOver. Hugs Sasha. And there's they made sure to have Sasha in the background of all of these shots. And Becky was there too, but Sasha was the focus.
But we all know Becky doesn't matter. That's been drilled into our heads for
Becky's
a year
on SmackDown.
now.
Nobody gives a shit about her.
Right. She's about to job to Nikki Bella a lot, so nobody get too excited about it.
Yeah. Goes out and gives her the big hug. Okay. Very next day, Sasha loses her title to Charlotte amidst reports that she's suffering from some sort of an injury. Panic that maybe she even failed the wellness test, and there are people who believe the injury is a cover for failing a wellness test.
Which is
and I don't know if I believe that.
Why? What? Why would they? Huh?
I don't know if I believe that, but I mean, kiss me or hit me.
Right.
And so she's got a back injury, and conveniently enough, she needs to miss the next show. And also conveniently enough, there doesn't require surgery on this issue. And all it is she's got back problems, but we don't know exactly what the back problems are. I don't know if it's the 5th lumbar or the 6th one. And Bayley suddenly debuts as the hottest free agent, which I know there's some bullshit here. Heath Slater's the hottest free agent.
Right, we all know that.
So the story's starting to not add up at this point. And Bayley gets a quick win over Dana. And Sasha's, so she's set up to be the #1 contender now. And Sasha's going to be back within roughly a month. And within roughly a month, what's happening? They're going to have the pay-per-view and get Charlotte a match, and Sasha will be back, and then what happens? It's all set up just a little too nicely to get Sasha.
So you think it's all... So Sasha is the female Roman Reigns now, you're saying. The whole thing is just engineered to make Sasha look strong.
Mm-hmm. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine.
How many people who sing that song have no idea what Word Up magazine is?
Every single one of them.
True.
How many people who sang that song have any idea who actually sang that song initially?
I don't want to talk about that. That makes me feel so old.
Well, when that song came out, I
don't want to talk about this.
I was 7 years. Why are you singing randomly? My lady friend does the same thing, and I've been starting to do it. So if you hear me do that, that's blame her.
Okay.
How's your life, Sean?
It's good.
Cool. Me too. No, really, I don't think there was anything else on the show. They did the series of matches. Owens, cool. Whatever. The Neville stuff was flippy and great. Zayn may be hurt unless he's not.
It was flippy and great.
Zayn might be hurt unless he's not. Rollins with a good promo. Big Cass wins. I don't know what they're doing with Rusev, and at least Lana wasn't wearing a diaper on this night.
True. What do you think about Rusev? I mean, I'm
a little pissy. I'm a little pissy about it because they had to change plans. Obviously, Raw was rewritten, of course.
Right.
Expect that in the rumors, and laugh about Ortman being a day late on it. But they had to rewrite the show because the dude, the champ gets hurt, and you got to figure that out. And so the stakes are cool, and everything essentially gets pushed back a week, and it's a good thing to have stakes in your matches. But yeah, why bother with it, nobody looked good. Cass doesn't look like a strong title contender, and this is a guy who lost his match at SummerSlam the night before. And then here's Rusev, who's actually, you're doing an injury angle with him. What's with the injury shit? Everyone's either hurt or in an angle where they're hurt.
Yep.
And I get that it's like combat. I just burped on the air.
Yes, you did.
And I get that it's like, you're simulating combat, whatever, and all this stuff, and it's going to happen, but I don't need this extent of it to the point that it's affecting. That's not a fun story to me. That's not a good story. So, excuse me. Yeah, just whatever. And then Reigns Jericho was a fun main event. I enjoyed it. It was fine for what it was, but like you said, at the tail end of a taping, they've run the Barclays Center 3 fucking nights in a row. Everyone's tired. No one cares about any of this shit anymore. Thank God we're getting out of there, and off to Uncasville, or whatever the hell.
Mohegan Sun Casino Lounge and Wrestling Arcade, I think is where they're going tonight.
Yeah, so everything's yeah, that's everything.
Yeah.
Else.
I don't know.
That was it. We covered it all, unless we didn't.
Nice.
I can't believe you didn't go out on that.
I'm not ready at all. I'm doing something else. I really wasn't even listening to you.
What are you doing right now?
I'm promoting a fan post to get hashtag content on the site.
Thrilling portion.
Inside baseball, ladies and germs.
My God.
I was gonna say something. So here's why I kind of think maybe they are gonna put the belt on Roman. Because I feel like all this Rusev stuff that was just a fucking time killer for him. Like, I don't know if did they ever have any intention to follow up with that? The whole, fake match from Sunday, and I don't know, man. I
can only assume so, right? And people saying, Rusev's got to go away to do his second wedding. In Bulgaria, which I think is in September. So maybe he needs some time off at some point, and they're setting up for that. But Reigns is busy next week, obviously.
Right. So is Rusev just going to go on an injury vacation with the belt?
Which would be funny, right? Because Brock is gone now. Rusev could be leaving. Balor's gone. We're already very quickly exposing the lack of depth in your split brand. We've got more talent than ever. Well, you don't fucking look like it. The Dudleys are gone now. Not that they would have stopped. I thought Devon should have got a title shot personally, but
I think they should have brought back Batista as his valet, and then that would have really been good.
Called him Deacon through a big ass
Batista
through a big ass chain with a hold. What was on the chain? A clock or what was it?
I don't fucking know. He had on a tux jacket with the sleeves ripped off. I don't know.
With weird ass contacts.
He was a really angry churchgoer.
Also looked like he maybe wanted to be sexually abusive towards his fellow wrestlers.
Well, yeah, Brock didn't invent that.
Certainly not.
All right, I have to pee. Can we wrap this up?
You should have wrapped it up a long time ago, my man. I gave you the
say something witty.
Now, hit me or kiss me.